Okay, Radhika, what Dr. Rath is saying is something that is traditional wisdom as well. That the later in life you have a child, the more at risk is the mother and the baby. We all understand that. But just take, for example, Sidhu Moosewala's parents' case. They lose a 28-year-old to 30 bullets in a gang war. They say they are feeling the void. They say they feel the need for a child who will fill that void. They go ahead for IVF. I want to ask you whether the government of India and the government of Punjab are well within their rights to come knocking at their doors 48 hours after the baby is born and ask them, is this child legitimate or not?
I come to address this part. Before that, I would like to bring to the knowledge of the viewers the basic law around it. Okay, so the ART Act, which India adopted 2 years back, 2022 was when India enforced this act. After this act, there is a stipulated age. Now, let's understand that Indian government has a right to make a law regulating its land, its country. Okay, so this matter when the couple is saying that they have gone to Dubai and they have done the procedure there. So in that space, Indian government does not have the power to say that they have violated the law. Having said that, whether it is genuinely done like this or not, the Indian government has very well the power to investigate the matter. Okay, so the Indian government, because, just by saying that the couple took the treatment in Dubai does not solve the purpose. The Indian government has the power enough to give a show cause notice and ask the couple. I just want to counsel the couple and tell through this news to the couple, just take it as at peace. It's a government inquiry. It's not always necessary that when the government does a questioning, it's always finding a fault with you and, giving its verdict. The government has asked such questions to you because the government has adopted a law in India. And if the procedure is carried out in India, then very well they have violated it. And they do not want. And if they have violated the law, it will set a very wrong precedent.
Okay, but here's the point. Here's the question I want to ask you. Reproducing is a fundamental right. Dr. Rath just said this on the show. Then can the law be challenged? That who's the government of India to tell us at what age we can get an IVF treatment done and deliver a child? Look, everyone understands the health repercussions, especially elderly parents. If they still want to go for that choice, should that choice then, Radhika, not be the couple's? They understand the risks at play.
Yes, certainly. But, do we know that fundamental rights are not absolute? The fundamental rights, the Indian government, very well under the Constitution, has the power to put reasonable restriction. Now, whether the restriction is reasonable or not is challenged under the law. Whether what we are talking that whether a 55-year age should be there or a 50-year age capping should be there, whether this restriction that this age is capped, beyond this if you are doing it is violation. Whether this putting of clause is a very well a reasonable restriction by the law, none of your fundamental rights, even traveling abroad, your passports can be confiscated if you are doing something violative of the laws. You have the fundamental right to travel. You have the fundamental right for various many things. But our governments have the power to restrict them reasonably.
Okay, Dr. Satish Rath then, and I have exactly 20 seconds, but it's not like elderly people or elderly women aiming to have children have been unsuccessful at it. I was just quoting to our viewers the case of a 73-year-old farmer from Andhra Pradesh, goes through IVF, delivers twin girls. Then in Kutch, a 71-year-old, before the act came into play, delivers her first child. And in both cases, the baby and the mother are both doing fine. If the women can, I just don't see the harm. If IVF can give some happiness to a 70-year-old, why stop it?
So I would just say that this much, Shreya, is science is advancing very fast. Like, before the first IVF baby was born, also there were no regulations around IVF. So regulations are always done so that, there is no
Okay.
misuse of the science. So science space has been always, very, very fast. And then after that, we do regulation. We do regulation for the safety of the patients. We do regulation for the safety of the providers, as well as we do regulations for our country's legislation. We should be having an open mind that, what can be the other special cases. And ART Act, after being enacted, has been modified also. So government has been also open to the feedbacks of the specialists and the scientists and the doctors. So I would assume that, our government also is going to be little more, open-minded. Like for the abortion laws, we still see that, laws has been changing from US to India and everywhere. Same way, I think, IVF is an industry which will be seeing multiple modification of the legislation. After all, for the betterment of the patients and the doctors and the country. So that's what, I can see as a positive
True.
thing.
You have to say this. India has some of the most progressive laws as far as abortion is concerned.
Absolutely.
Let's have a little more progressive laws as far as IVF is concerned. Because after all, if a couple in their 50s and 60s is planning to go in for the birth of a child, they are aware of what they are getting into. Let them make the choice. But again, there are rules that need to be followed in a country as well. So this is a debate that will carry on. Dr. Rath, thank you very much for joining us. Radhika Thapar, thank you very much for joining us as well. Ladies and gentlemen.